Yo, what's going on, guys? My name's JPhanta. Welcome back to a brand new video. Today we are going to be talking about the top 5 teams that I think exist in My Hero Academia Ultra Impact right now. Now, the game has been out for about a month now, and I think we've figured out what the meta teams are. Now, do take this video with a grain of salt, as none of these teams that I'm going to be showing you guys are needed at all in order to complete the game's content. If you reroll for 3 random UR characters, you are able to beat the main quest no problems with enough upgrading. When it comes to USJ, that's always focused on monotyping, so that shouldn't be a comparison. But we are going to be talking about which monotype teams are the best. And then when it comes to VE Tower, that's all based on boosted characters. And that's why when I did my tier list for the first week of the game's release, Ochako, Bakugo, as well as Todoroki were way up there compared to the other characters because they were useful at that time. So the scenario that I'm going to be bringing all these teams in is if they were versing a type neutral boss, which teams would be the most effective out of all of them, right? Now, the teams that I'm going to be naming are in particular order as they all have their, weaknesses and their effectiveness. So this is just a video to give you guys an idea of what teams to build, and if you guys haven't started the game, what kind of teams you want to try to summon for, reroll for, and what to aim for, pretty much. So anyway, let's get started with our first team here, which is going to be the Pro Hero. With the new Endeavor, it has made this team prominent. I've already talked about it when I was talking about Aizawa. Like, the Pro Hero team was going to be potentially the best team once we got more Pro Heroes, and that is the case because of Endeavor. Definitely one of the strongest cards in the game at the moment. I still haven't really tested him, but just from, the effects that he has, I can see it being one of the strongest. The main lineup will be these 3. I will talk about the sub lineup as well if it, is important. Like, this team right here has an important sub lineup with Hawks, the SR Hawks, and the UR Yellow All Might, okay? So this is the team number 1, Pro Heroes. Now, what makes this team so good is obviously Aizawa is the glue for everything here. He is a Pro Hero support, and running him in the main lineup will boost up the Green Hawks as well as the Endeavor, of course. You want to make your DPS even stronger, and if you are doing an event that allows you to bring a friend, bringing a friend Aizawa will also affect the whole team as well, giving it a total of a 40% Pro Hero power boost, which is absolutely insane. So you want Endeavor up in the first spot. Aizawa is great for controlling, sealing, removing debuffs, a support, of course. And the Green Hawks is really nice to have at the start because he gives everyone in the main lineup a free dodge, which is great, especially when Endeavor needs to be low HP in order to get the most amount of damage. The important thing is keeping Endeavor alive at all times, and Hawks allows him to do that. And also with Endeavor's speed debuff, Hawks gets extra bit of power himself, which is really, really good. So this is a really good starting lineup. And then for the SR Hawks, he's a Pro Hero support. Although it doesn't boost himself, if one of these 2 die, then he will still provide the extra boost that they need. And if it all comes down to the very end, All Might is there to save the day, as he's one of the strongest cards in the game. And he also has Grit as well as Endeavor. So these 2 should be alive at the end game. And hopefully, with these 2 alone, should do enough power damage. Okay, so that was team number 1, Pro Heroes. The next team I want to talk about is the blue team. I think this is pretty self-explanatory. We kind of knew this from the very beginning. The blue team is the best mono team in the game. And so you have the 3 blue UR lineup, Momo, Bakugo, and Deku, with the sub lineup of, well, the only important one is All Might, since he is a free SR that is farmable. If you didn't get him, unfortunate, but you could get him to level 90 cap so easily, so he's definitely worth it here. And so this is really your main lineup. The last unit in your sub doesn't really matter too much. You can bring like Todoroki or something to freeze, but we know Momo is a power support for blue. Double Momo on the team. So the friend Momo, you get that double the amount of power support. Bakugo has the burn, the blindness, the damage output. Deku has, all the debuffs, speed debuffs, crit rate debuffs to keep this team alive. Heals from Momo. It is pretty much almost a perfect team other than a damage debuff. All Might works well with the blue Deku, so that's perfect. And with the right memories, they can throw out a lot of plus ultras insanely fast, because Momo increases plus ultras for everyone. And if you have double Momos, that's double boosting the plus ultra gauge. And some of the memories for them give plus ultra gauge increase as well. So very solid. It is the best monotype in the game right now. And probably the easiest to reroll, as Momo and Bakugo are also in the reroll page thing, in the reroll banner thing. While the Pro Hero one, you need to try and get Endeavor and Hawks to really make it as proper team. And All Might, the yellow All Might, is from the VE store, so you need to grind for him. Okay, so next one is the villain team. I think this team is so good because of the fact they go against any pro hero pretty easily. So any USJ event, other than the fact that USJ event has a time limit, or a turn limit, sorry, they can beat any boss in the game. I'm pretty sure. They were the #1 team to use when it comes to VE Tower versus Endeavor. Give them enough turns, they will win, okay? Unfortunately, there isn't 3 URs for villains at the moment, but when there is, this team's going to be busted. All for One has that debuff, which is awesome. He lowers the enemy's skill damage, which means overall you're not going to be taking so much damage. If you have Muscular on the team, he taunts and has barrier for the start of the turn, which is great. Shigaraki here increases League of Villains allies power boost. And of course, you want double Shigaraki, getting that double power boost. And of course, when he versus a pro hero, he can apply Fear. Fear is not as broken as it was before the patch, because I think it was glitched. But Fear is a very, very strong effect. As long as you can get the pro hero underneath 50% HP, you can definitely live for a very long time. And he also debuffs Shigaraki, so, you know, you've got all that debuff. And you can keep these guys alive just from Muscular's skill abilities. You just use Muscular's skill abilities, and hopefully by then you've debuffed it with the 2 URs, and then survive long enough for Muscular to activate the taunt again, and so forth and so forth. And Shigaraki is definitely your powerhouse of the team right there. Then you have like Stain in here who can constrain the enemy and bleed, and Darby has the burn, so it's like residual damage over there, but nothing too important. I think the main lineup is Muscular up front as well. And then, or Stain. One of these two. Depends on what boss you are versing, of course. Let's do team number 4 now, which is the yellow team. I think the yellow team is Uprising to be one of the best teams, mono teams in the game. Because they've gotten so many new URs, or so many URs in the game. Like, you even have the yellow Deku, which I didn't even add in here because, I mean, he is good. It's just that, not that important, right? Because your main lineup's going to be like this. It is focused more on the pro heroes, and you're focusing on All Might, pretty much, getting all that damage in. Todoroki himself, without even any boost, does really, really well because he has so much burn. And burn doesn't, regardless of how strong your unit is, burn will always do 5% damage. And then you're just buffing up All Might here to do a lot more damage while he still has the boost that he gets. And then you have Hawks. You can swap out Hawks if you're not feeling that pro hero vibe with the Deku, but then again, Aizu will be wasted there. And then you have Ochako in here. Ochako is actually really good. She can decrease the enemy's power as well as heal. So if you do end up, like, you can even do this. If you do end up getting low HP on All Might, you can heal up with the Ochako here from the USJ coin store. But yeah, nothing really too exciting to say. It's just another variant version of Pro Hero, but less restrictive, I guess, because of the fact you're running yellow Todoroki, which is insane with burn damage. And then the last team I want to talk about is the red team. So, of course, again, Endeavor has really changed the scene when it comes to team builds. Because when more characters come out, like, the whole team building scenario gets insane, more and more insane. So, red is an upcoming team that I think is going to be a really, really strong team. I think you've kind of figured out, like, what kind of situation, what makes a really good team. If they have a support, it really ups them up just like a crazy amount. But this is really what you have right now, and then you can bring whatever red SRs you want. I Muscular is just so good, so I brought him along. I put him into this team right here, but you can add whatever you feel like, honestly. The main thing is that you have Endeavor and Kirishima. Kirishima gives red types a power boost, so double Kirishima is awesome. Red Deku, if you put him in the right position, he can be really good. I recommend you have the, the Nana support card with the Gran Torino, the young Gran Torino, I think that is it, where it applies grit to the character. Deku is the one you want to put it on because the lower the HP, he does reverse damage. So the lower HP he does, or he is, the more damage he does. Just same as Endeavor. Your goal here is to keep Endeavor and Deku as low as HP as possible. So having Kirishima to provide taunt to himself and damage reduction, keeping these two alive is really, really good for just overall DPS. And then Muscular will be your backup if Kirishima dies, of course. This team can be really, really insane. You just need to set it up right, which is why it might not be too popular for beginners, but once you start having all these cards, this team can be really good. You just need the requirement of the grit card for the Red Deku. This one's definitely not too easy to get because Endeavor, unless you reroll for Kirishima and Red Deku, then you might have to go for Endeavor while he's featured. But I think the most friendly teams is the Villains team, as you can get the 2 URs from rerolls, and the Blue team as you get the staples as rerolls as well. But anyway, that is my top 5 teams in the game. Let me know if you have any other team suggestions that you think should be on this list. If you guys enjoyed today's video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it. We have daily My Hero Academia Ultra Impact videos out for you guys, so have the notification bell rung. But anyway, check out all my social medias, link in the description, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Until then, stay healthy, stay safe, stay fizzy. Peace out.